Hey everybody, I am Misty. This is Dinner on a Dime, and I am here today because I want to kind of bring you something from the archives, okay? The behind the scenes of Dinner on a Dime. So it is a little windy out, so I'm sorry if y'all hear some of the wind. Hopefully it won't be too overwhelmingly bad in the video, but it's nice. I want to sit outside, and so that's where I'm recording this video for you. So what I mean behind the scenes is I create a ton of topics that I want to cover for you guys. And sometimes I will pull things off of my list and I'll add them to a different list of things that maybe I'll cover one day, but I don't have a particular video that I really feel like I want to cover it in. And so today's going to be kind of a conglomeration, is that the right word, of some of those tips and tricks that I've come up with for you guys. I just haven't found a good place that I want to stick them. And so it's not going to be the most put together video. It's going to be messy and strange, and I'm not going to edit it, and it's going to be fine. And we're just going to go through the list. And the list has 40 items on it. We're not going to cover all of them because some of them I've already stuck in other videos. So we're just going to touch on however many items we touch on in this video, okay? I'm not gonna say it's gonna be 15. I'm not gonna say it's gonna be 10. It'll just be whatever it is, okay? So the first one is to help you shop smarter. Is kind of the segment I had these listed under, was like a shop smarter category, okay? So it is better to shop with a rough plan than to shop with no plan, okay? So if you aren't gonna take the time to perfect meal planning, I get it, okay? I understand. There are people that are not going to do it. There are people that have tried. There are people that are overwhelmed by it. But having a rough plan is still better than no plan. So if you can even start to think through, what are some things I want to cook, right? Maybe I'm not sure where I'm going to cook them, but I want to cook them. And you start there with, okay, what do I have and what do I need to buy? At least you'll have some things ready and available to work with. And even if you never make that meal that's in your mind, you'll have items to work with and you can always turn it into something else, okay? So to me, again, shopping with some sort of rough idea of something is better than shopping with no ideas at all, because it's still going to work out better for you than if you go to the grocery store and just walk the shelves and pick up a bunch of random nonsense that looks good and pretty at the time, okay? The next one is we're going to shoot down the list to produce, okay? Produce is a big waste area for a lot of people because we buy things with the best of intentions to use them and then we don't use them. How many times have you found the bag of grapes in the fridge that has gone bad? Or I've picked up a watermelon that I had on the counter before and found it to be very squishy on the side that had been sitting there. Or you buy lettuce for a salad, and guess what? By the time you get to it, it is kind of filmy and nasty on the inside of the package. So it does happen quite a bit. And so I have kind of switched my thinking to, okay, what whole produce can I buy that is going to last the longest? Those are the things I'm going to buy more of, and then I'm going to buy less of the things that tend to go bad, like my bananas and my grapes and things of that nature, salad mix. What I'm going to buy more of are things like whole carrots, potatoes, onions, cabbage, things that are going to last a lot longer. And then I'm also going to work on buying things like peppers or celery or items that if I don't quite get to them in time, I can chop them up, prep them, stick them in my freezer, and then guess what? I still have them for another day, okay? So we want produce that's not going to go to waste as quickly. All right, the next one that I kind of want to talk to is proteins on a budget, because a lot of people have asked, okay, so how do we do this in 2026? Food is really expensive and proteins are one of the highest costs in your budget. And I totally agree, okay? I totally agree. So I have a few little tips here. One is totally against things I've said in the past. Like I always say, just buy your own chicken and roast it. But not everyone has time to do that. Not everyone knows how to do that. Not everyone is comfortable in the kitchen like I am. So here's what I would say. Buy a rotisserie chicken. it's okay. Because guess what? The cost of a whole chicken right now in my store, plus my time to cook it, plus the seasonings, my electricity, everything together is probably going to cost more than I just gave in and bought a Sam's Club or a Costco or a local grocery store rotisserie chicken. And the best part about the rotisserie chicken is I pull all that meat off of the bones. I'm going to get at least 3 to 4 meals out of it. I'm going to use the bones to make broth or stock. And so it is a really good value. Even in 2026, it is a really good value, and it's an easy thing to do, okay? The next one is choose a bone-in, skin-on chicken. Instead of boneless, skinless chicken breasts, get the bone-in, skin-on chicken thighs, okay? They're going to be cheaper per pound. They're going to be more flavorful, and you're not going to go wrong by doing that, okay? So see, we didn't go over a whole page of tips. We just went over the ones I haven't been over with you guys yet. Okay, the next one I'm going to talk about is keeping eggs stocked, okay? I have a love-hate relationship with eggs in my house because I buy them, I don't use them, I buy them, and I end up throwing them away. I have tried different methods to save eggs in the past. It doesn't always work. And so this is a hard one for me to keep eggs stocked just because we just don't use enough eggs to justify keeping them on hand all of the time. So in my house, probably going to an egg replacer would be a better option for us, but that's also expensive. And so I give in, okay? I give in, and when eggs are on sale for like $1.79, I will buy a carton of eggs, and it will sit in my fridge, and I will probably use 2 before they end up going bad. But here's what you can keep in mind with eggs. They are a cheap protein for dinner. When you're tired or you're tempted to order out, scrambling some eggs, making fried eggs and toast, it doesn't take long. And it's very filling. And so I can tell you, because we are going on a trip soon, I need to use up the eggs that are in my fridge. And so I made brownies the other night, which I believe only used 2 eggs. So I have like 10 eggs in this carton that I bought a couple of weeks ago that I need to use. So probably tonight we are going to have pigs in a blanket and scrambled eggs. I'm thinking that's where I'm headed for dinner. Some sort of breakfast for dinner type concoction, okay? All right, the next one is, I would say, stock up for your pantry or freezer wins. This one's more of a pantry win. Stock some sort of canned tomatoes, okay? They are nice because they are an instant dinner base. You can make all sorts of things with them. You can make pizza sauce. You can make pasta sauce. You can make chili. You can add them into like casseroles and things. And so having a stock of canned tomatoes is never a bad idea, okay? So that's what we're going to go over on that page. Let's keep moving on. Okay, the next one has to do around your budgeting mindset. It's really important when you're budgeting that you are not working off of some vague idea. Okay, I've showed you on the channel how to research your past spending, how to set a grocery budget, but here's what I have to say about it, okay? You cannot say something like, I want to spend around X amount of dollars. Because if you say, I want to spend around $150, you're going to find ways to leak more money out than you meant to, okay? What you need to say is my budget is $150 maximum, because that is going to force you to make some decisions in order to work within the budget that you set, okay? So that's just a good tip for anybody that is learning how to budget or meal prep or grocery shop or anything. How do we make decisions? Well, based on your budget, right? All right, let's see what the next one is I want to talk about here. See, this is why I said this is going to be messy. The next one is limit your fun extras on a trip. So make it intentional treats versus impulse snacks, okay? So allow yourself a certain number per trip of items that you can add into the buggy based on that impulse factor or the snack factor or whatever you want to call it, the fun factor. Limit yourself to X amount. I would say 1 to 2 per trip. And that way you are not going way over budget because you are buying too many tempting goodies when you're in the store. All right, so that's what I have to say about that one. Doop. See, I'm already through that page. Like I said, it's just a list of ideas that I've had up here that I need to get out on paper, right? All right. The next one we've talked a little bit about, but make sure you are freezing anything you can before it dies, okay? So my ideas here were like bananas, spinach, peppers, celery, meats. Even if you only have a portion or two left, freeze it, find a way to use it later. You can reinvent it into all sorts of other meals, but just make sure you're not letting your stuff die, okay? I've talked about it in another video that I've got coming out soon. The average American household wastes at least $1,000 a year on things that just either they buy and it goes in the trash, or they make a meal, they don't eat the leftovers, they throw them away, okay? So we've got to find ways to get better about that. And so freeze it. Freeze everything you can, because maybe you're not thinking of how you want to use it today, but you can find a way to use it later. And it's great for when you're doing your meal prep and stuff, because you can say, oh, I've got 2 chicken breasts left and this bag of celery and this bag of peppers. What can I make with it? And then you can put together a meal utilizing those ingredients that you stuck in your freezer a little bit at a time, okay? The next one is buy only herbs that you will use across at least 2 ingredients, because if you bulk buy your herbs and spices, you will spend a lot less on them over time than buying smaller bottles. And trust me, the stuff you're getting in the bottle for $1 at Walmart is not as good as some of the stuff you can buy at bulk stores. So just, if you can't use it across at least 2 or more meals, and you're not going to use it routinely, maybe find something else you can use in its place, okay? That way you can ensure that you are getting the best value by buying those items, okay? And I recommend that for really anything, not just herbs and spices, but that is a big one. But if I can't use a can of beans at least 2 ways, I'm probably not going to buy that can of beans. I'm going to see, okay, well, instead of red beans, can I substitute X beans over here that I also use in another recipe? So now I can use it across multiple dishes, okay? And then the last one, and I haven't really touched on this a lot on the channel, is you got to store stuff properly. Whether it's in the fridge, it's in the freezer, it's in the pantry, it's out on the counter, okay? You've got to store things correctly to make them last as long as possible. And again, if you can't use it up in time and you're afraid it's going to go bad, then you need to research how to freeze it properly and make sure it's going into the freezer so that you can extend its shelf life even further, okay? So that's today's video. Again, I don't know how many tips there were, but I just wanted to get out some of the things that I just really haven't captured a good video for them, but I want to share. Like, I enjoy sharing with you guys. That's what I'm here to do. And so I wanted to get that out for you. So if you enjoyed this video, make sure to give it a thumbs up, leave me a comment. And as always, make sure you have subscribed and ring the little notification bell, and then you'll know when the next video is coming out. All right, guys, have a good day. I'll see you in the next one. Bye.